Good afternoon and welcome to NYCryptoTalk. Today's special project review is going to be on a neo decentralized exchange called Switcheo. So if you guys are not familiar, I did a review on the NEX ICO and the NEX project, but without my knowledge, I did not know that Switcheo actually beat them to the punch on being the first neo NEP decentralized exchange out there, and it has now been live for about a week and a half and has been doing pretty well. It is a very low market cap token with a lot of potential, so they just released a updated white paper, so I am going to go through the actual project, then the white paper. On the Switcheo website, you can actually see it is very straightforward. It's very simple. Their white paper is very straightforward as well. They don't go into a lot of crazy details because what they're trying to do is make things easy for everyone, and that is what they are accomplishing. Switcheo Network is letting you trade any NEP5 tokens with the NEO and gas immediately. So there is, similar to all the other exchanges out there, they have their own base pair, which is the Switcheo token, which will give you lower transaction fees. And the bonus that they're doing right now is there's a discount right now that goes until April 14th, and basically you have a lower transaction fee of 0.1% as opposed to what they're going to be after that, which they don't really talk about in too much detail. But right now with the Switcheo token, the transaction is only 0.01%, which is really cool. And I'll get into it, what the Switcheo token will allow you to do down the road with cross-chain functionality. So if you go here, there are three main links on their website. One is to go to the exchange, which I will go to in a second. The article about their trading fee discount and their bug bounty. So one of the things that they're really big into now that they just launched the program is to make sure it's as secure as possible. So they actually have a bounty to make sure that everything is working exactly as it should be. And they've already noticed in the Medium article that I'll go through a lot of the issues that they came across their first week in operations and how they're fixing it and their future improvements that they're going to do to make it one of the best decentralized NEP5 token exchange out there. So instant trading and withdrawals as a decentralized exchange utilize your existing wallet file, so you don't need to worry about deposit your funds from one wallet to another, then sending it to an exchange, and by doing so you're actually losing funds every time you exchange, usually depending on the wallet, the service, and what you have. But by having this all built in, if you guys are familiar with other decentralized exchanges like IDEX or Fork Delta, previously known as Ether Delta, they basically utilize your existing platform and use your gas, and in this case, the Neo gas for the actual exchange. So it's really cool to be able to have that built in, so you have less funds that are actually getting lost and much quicker. You don't have to keep sending it through multiple platforms. Low trading fees, and trading all the NEP5 tokens. As soon as the ICO ends, you have the availability to trade it immediately. Obviously, one of the biggest issues nowadays with tokens is being able to get it on an exchange as soon as possible once you have the token available to you, either to buy more or sell, whatever you want to do with it. So just similar to IDEX, where there are always really good things to buy immediately after the ICO ends, Switcheo will basically be the same for the Neo platform. And moving forward, it will also be for Qtum and ERC20 down the road, which is in their roadmap. So without further ado, I am going to quickly jump into their exchange platform and show you what it looks like. So they do have integration for TradingView, and it is pretty straightforward. It's relatively easy because they wanted to make a easy UI, and that is their main goal with the project, is to making it as simple as possible for the users so they don't get confused. There's not crazy amount of utilization, because if you ever looked at Ether Delta, it sucks. It is just very hard to be able to make an order, place an order, deal with the UI. I mean, it is just atrocious. IDEX is a much better platform, personally, in my opinion, but Switcheo is really cool, very straightforward, and it is easy to use to be able to buy and sell the tokens that you need. The different trading pairs are available. You can trade on the Neo, Gas, or Switcheo as your trading pairs, and you have the option for all the different NEP5 tokens out there. Okay, and then you have your wallet login. So being able to log in, right now they don't have the ledger support. They are working on it right now, so you can log in through the JSON file, encrypted key, or a private key. And once you get logged in, you can actually, it'll show your available balance, and you'll be able to trade and buy your Switcheo tokens as well as the other NEP5 tokens. Eventually, the Qtum, the QRC20 platform tokens will be available. This is scheduled for Q2. So, and then Q3 is ERC20, and I'll go more into that in the roadmap, but you will see the ERC20, QRC20, NEO. Obviously, all the different platforms will be available on the Switcheo network. Looking at their white paper release, they did just announce this last month. So you can see here where the Q1 is the actual launch of the DEX, which is already live, as you know. Q2 is the QRC20 trading. Q3 is ERC20. And then Q4, which I thought was really interesting, is the cross swap feature utilizing the Switcheo tokens and Wanchain. So I did not realize this, so I guess they are going to integrate the Wanchain functionality into the platform so you can do cross-swap functionality with the Wanchain protocol. So really cool information. The news that they have after the first week of being on the exchange, they did their key takeaways on withdrawal delays with the Neo blockchain, how they're going to fix it. Immediate goals, these are items that they believe they have still room to improve on. The confirmation time, the withdrawal time, zero order making failures, oversight of where tokens are at all at one time, upgrading the transaction status UI. They will also be doing the ledger support, as I mentioned, and the off-chain matching. So they'll be upgrading their Neo smart contract to make the exchange architecture more robust, and will also consider doing order matching fully off-chain. This is not much different than what we have already been doing, but it'll allow for instant confirmations. However, the ETA for this is a minimum of 2 weeks out. So this was actually announced only a couple of days ago, so we might have by end of April off-chain matching completed. So the improvements that they've done so far is updating the order status, resolved ordering, token listing, UI improvements, and the back-end architecture. So quite a lot of information's already been out there. Their team actually has been very active on Twitter, on Medium. Ivan Poon is one of the blockchain developers, one of the co-founders of the team, and Jack Yu is on business development. Both of these guys are very active when it comes to the project. If you look at the actual Switcheo team, one of the advisors, obviously I've mentioned his name before, is Roger Lim. He's one of the founding partners at Neo Global Capital. So really cool to have someone from the Neo Global Capital team as an advisor. Obviously, everything in the Neo community is very tight-knit. It is nice to see that they actually have a good partnership with them. Right now, if you go to CoinMarketCap, it is currently trading at 1.6 cents. I'm sorry, yeah, 1.6 cents. I almost got confused there. And the circulating supply, which doesn't show here, is actually 750 million tokens. I got this from their Telegram group. So their market cap right now is 12.2 million, which I think is the lowest coin I've ever reviewed. And I think this could actually be one of the biggest gainers that I've ever reviewed, because 12.2 million is nothing when it comes to market cap, especially for a decentralized exchange and a Neo platform. So There's a huge room for growth for this project, and I think it is actually going to be recepted in the Neo community because of how easy it is to use and how the Neo platform works. So I think it is definitely going to be a successful project, and I will go through the white paper and why I think it's going to be a success. Just because they are first launching on the Neo blockchain, they do plan to eventually go to Qtum Ethereum and then cross swap with Wanchain. So I think it's really cool that they're actually planning to start first with Neo, because NEP5 tokens right now are lacking that ability to get a quick decentralized exchange. And if you're not familiar with it, currently centralized exchanges have problems integrating NEP5 tokens. It's much easier for them to do ERC20, so that's why sometimes you won't see as many Neo projects on centralized exchanges right away. And we basically get into their preface on how Switcheo participated in the first City of Zion's Neo DApp challenge, and they basically won 1,350 gas. They aim to be the first decentralized exchange for Neo, which they did succeed in. They also have the ERC20, the Qtum blockchain, and the Ethereum blockchain in their roadmap. So centralized exchanges fall into two categories: those that accept fiat currencies, government-backed currencies, and those that do not. Basically, Switcheo is saying that they will not accept fiat initially because they really want to focus on being a multi-chain decentralized crypto exchange first. They want to be able to focus on things that they feel matter first. So for them, they wanted to be the first multi-chain decentralized cryptocurrency exchange platform. And how they're going to do this, obviously, is through the smart contract of the decentralized exchange, and by reducing the cost, upfront cost, as well as the time. If, as I mentioned before, if you ever send your funds from your wallet to an exchange and then your exchange back to a wallet, you're going to lose X amount of money on each of those transfers. By doing it directly from your wallet, you're taking out transfers and costs associated with it. And you're also reducing the amount of time it takes to get onto an exchange. If most of you guys have ever tried to sell at a high point or at a low point, or buy at a low point, you know that it's a pain to get your money and your funds available onto an exchange. Having it immediately available is great, especially after an ICO ends. You have the ability to immediately buy, sell right after the ICO ends. Once it's available and you have that in your wallet, you can buy it. Exchange fees. While the DEX clearly has an advantage over centralized exchange in the security and control of funds, ease of transfer, immediate token listings, and lower fees, Switcheo's true priority is to overcome the shortfalls in DEX. So the first thing is the user experience. Right now, Switcheo's DEX will allow for partial filling of offers, auto retrying of failed orders, and order batching within a single transaction. So I don't know if you guys are familiar, and I don't know if Ether Delta or Fork Delta has ever updated it, but partial filling has never been a functionality. If you're on a centralized exchange and you put in an order for 100 tokens, you can get a partial fill of 50, and then the remaining 50 will stay in your order book. If you're on Fork Delta, you would need an exact match to have a smart contract to be executed. So you can do partial orders sometimes, but DEXs basically are a pain with that. But Switcheo goes around it by being able to do partial filling. They also do auto retrying if there's any failures, and then order batching all within one single transaction. And as I mentioned before, with their smart contract security, they do have a bug bounty program right now to see if there's any issues with the platform, because they want to make sure that they are completely compliant, secure, so that your funds don't get lost. They also plan on implementing a decentralized KYC process. Until then, they will be monitoring transactions to make sure that everything is working correctly, there's no suspicious transactions, and that if there is any, they can help assist legal authorities with those. Obviously, low exchange volume is always an issue with DEXs, so low liquidity, exchange volume through strong credibility, market presence, and the state-of-the-art ease of the platform. So Switcheo's user experience is what they are hoping to be able to do to get into the market. So why NEO? So NEO is a good first blockchain because right now, if you think about it, there has been approximately 7 ICOs that were launched on the platform, accounting to almost $185 million. These $185 million were not available until a centralized exchange picked them up. Having this available on a decentralized exchange would make a huge presence when it comes to trade volume, and being a first mover obviously is an advantage for Switcheo. They did beat out NEX in the race for decentralized exchange on the NEO platform. And just in general with ICOs, they said that in 2017, in November, there were about $3.775 billion funded for just ICOs. So it's a huge market for decentralized exchanges to be able to pick up on these ICOs. If they were just to get a portion of that daily revenue, they would have a huge amount of profit, and it would be enough for them to be sustaining. And they are trying to compete with centralized exchanges, not decentralized exchanges. So they want to be able to compete with Binance and KuCoin, which is some big words, guys. But obviously, if it's easier for people and you guys can offer the coins that are out there that are highly needed, then there's a good chance that they can do it. So they talk about the things that they feel will help when it comes to beating out Binance and KuCoin, and that's the volume, user experience, and the scalability. So their architecture has 4 main components. The UI, which is the front-facing interface that interacts with the smart contracts, the custom blockchain nodes to log smart contract events and interactions, the off-chain order history database and API, and the broker smart contract, which is what actually executes the trades themselves. The first component of the system is the front-facing user interface, which basically operates the same as a traditional exchange that the user is already accustomed to. And there are differences, though, and that is that there's no login required. This is all done through a wallet, and the wallet actually will allow them to see their full wallet-bound transaction history immediately. And they also have market buys, limit buys, logging through the ledger and the other types of keys that I mentioned before. The ledger is still under works. The client-side matching and filling multiple offers within a single offer, automatically retry of failed fills, personal transaction history, and trading charts. Looking at their token model, here you can see when they actually released the token on March 16, 2018. They have a total circulating supply of 750 million with a total supply of 1 billion. So here you can see the breakdown of the percentage of where the lockup is and where the actual funds are being held. So the base trading pair, as I mentioned before, is Switcheo, and there is subsidized trading fees, which means that it will be 50% of what it would normally be for a NEO or gas trading pair. The used for cross swap, so Switcheo tokens will be used as the base token when doing cross swaps to other chains in the future. So this is for Switcheo to Qtum, Switcheo to Ethereum, Switcheo with Wanchain, which is really cool. 2019, I mentioned on the roadmap everything up to Q4, but 2019 they say launch of trading for top 5 chains. So this could be Bitcoin, this could be Litecoin, this could be Bitcoin Cash. We don't know. Then again, the top 5 coins by the end of the year might be totally different, but most likely it's a Bitcoin base pair or something along those lines. So what do I think of the project? So Switcheo Network, I think, as a first mover when it comes to the NEP5 decentralized exchange, they're definitely ahead of the game when it comes to the project. The volume has been pretty low, but for a decentralized exchange, you really can't complain. They haven't integrated yet with CoinMarketCap, so if you won't even be able to see their volume yet, because I looked for Switcheo before and it wasn't available on Switcheo, which I thought was pretty funny. But you can see the volume. They're doing pretty good, and I think as time goes by and the interest and the the knowledge of just knowing this exchange exists, it will definitely do really good. And at a $12.2 million market cap, this has a lot of room to grow. It is a really cool project with a great team behind it, and I personally want to look into it more and figure out what I can sell to get it. Obviously, right now, the time is ripe when it comes to selling things because of the market and how well it's doing today. But definitely check out Switcheo. Do your own research. It's not financial advice. It's just a guy talking to people who want to listen to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely like, subscribe, share this if you want, because I think Switcheo definitely should be shared. So, get the information out there. I hope to do a how-to video of utilizing the platform. If you guys are interested, please let me know if that would sound like something you want to see. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks again for watching.